It's a new episode of
Yeah.
Escape Reality Star Wars Talk.
Welcome.
Welcome back, everybody, to another week. We are on episode 13.
That means we've been doing this for 3 months now, give or take.
Yeah,
Do we count?
give because we skipped a week. A week. We skipped Christmas week.
Oh yeah, we did. We did do our first one right before Christmas.
Yeah, we
didn't
did. Yeah, we did the week before Christmas. Then we skipped Christmas week.
Yeah.
And then we did the week after, which was like New Year's. I think it was, in fact, New Year's Day.
Yeah, that lines up, I think.
And so.
All right.
So this week we are going to explore the underworld of Star Wars. We're going to learn about the criminals and how they operate, and also a little bit about the law and how it works. And in fact, we have some discussion on that because we were just, I can't remember if we discussed it on the show. I know we discussed it outside the show, how bounty hunting works.
Yeah.
And like the legality / gray area of bounty hunting, which is a major part of what's in Star Wars Insider this month, as well as a major part of the short story that we read for this week.
The conclusion that we have reached is that we don't know how it works.
Yeah, like, I assume that it is legal as long as you are going after a legal contract, like an actual, like, somebody that the law has put up and said, hey, this is somebody who has broken the law, we need you to go after them, and Dead or Alive works.
Yeah, in Star Wars, apparently.
Yeah.
I assume there are ones that are like, don't no kill.
Yeah, there are.
But
in fact,
they don't.
In fact, that's one. In fact, that's one that's in our short story this week.
Yeah, but they don't always seem to be that way.
Yeah,
and it's also unclear if they.
And then, honestly, we have yet to. I can't think of in canon any leak. That's not true. There is one legal contract in the entirety of Star Wars that's canon, and will always be canon because it's in a movie. Empire Strikes Back.
No.
When Vader hires the bounty hunters, that is a legal hire because he is a representative of the government hiring bounty hunters for a government contract because Han is a criminal.
Yeah.
And technically Leia and Luke also have legal contracts on their head.
Yeah.
Because they work for the rebellion. Basically, any major head of the rebellion has a contract on their head from the Empire, which are legal. While they are the bad guys in taking these contracts, they are following the legal law.
Perfectly legal.
Yes.
And as we've discussed, Boba Fett is very about his business when he is on the fucking clock.
Yeah. Now, where the legality gray area comes in is, while yes, Han is a contract for the Empire, he's also a contract for Jabba, which is outside the legal system.
Yeah.
Because any Hutt contracts are not legal, except for in Hutt space.
Yeah. And I think that's like what it would be like if you went into one neighborhood, or
it'd be more like if you went into
one, like,
somebody's state.
Yeah, like
it's like a city-state almost. Well, no, that's not fair. Honestly, I'd argue Hutt space is its own country.
Yeah.
Because there's enough planets to qualify that. Because you've got Hutta, now Hutta, you've got Narshada as part of Hutt space, you got Tatooine as part of Hutt space.
Yeah, it's got enough to be comparable to a country. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
It would.
So it'd be like you bringing American laws into a different country.
It wouldn't work, but sure. And I suppose he already has a bounty out on him there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Like, yes, he committed a crime in that other country as well. But you can't take him back. We don't have extradition here.
Yeah.
But in this case, since the Hutt, because we'll talk more about this in depth as we talk about, because you read the article about
the crime article,
the crime about the different criminal syndicates that exist, as well as certain individual bounty hunters and law keepers that exist, law enforcement. Because they didn't really talk about groups of law enforcement, they talked about people.
Yeah, individuals.
Whereas on the criminal side, they talked about the actual syndicates rather than the individuals.
And
but we'll get there. I don't think we'll start there. In fact, I want to kind of start at the beginning of it because I tried to read the entire issue through. I didn't quite get to everything. So first off, they highlight something that we talked about in our either first or second episode of Escape Reality Star Wars Talk. They talk about the Return of the Jedi being put on the National Film Registry.
Yeah.
And they talked about, because that's happening this month officially.
Oh. All right.
And I think, yeah, it's either this month or next month because this counted as the March-April issue.
I see.
All
right.
And then the other thing they talked about was George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy being awarded the Milestone Award at the Producers Guild of America, which we discussed as well. And that one is next month. That's April.
All right.
So once again, congrats to them and congrats to Return of the Jedi for
Yeah.
making it in the National Film Registry because that means it's a protected film within our government. Like it is now a part of like history more than it already was. Like I would argue that the original trilogy, honestly, every Star Wars film is a part of history, even the current ones. But now they are legally identified as a part of history. Another interesting article: a British collector made over $68,000 at an auction selling off his toys from the '80s, his Kenner dolls, Star Wars toys. Which Kenner is like the original line of Star Wars action figures and stuff.
I see.
In fact, and apparently as a kid, he basically bought them like really cheap, like for essentially chump change, because they were just being sold at chump change because they were just at the time they weren't as and so he just bought them at chump change price and then made profit. In fact, let me pull up the Leia one because they actually, just to give us an idea, they talk about his Leia action figure and how much that was. The Leia figure alone, here it is. What he bought for 49 pence.
Okay.
Which is 67 cents in American.
Cheap.
Yeah, it's 67 cents in American. And then he sold it for over for 1,750 pounds, which is $2,389.
Damn. Okay.
And that's just one figure.
Fucking no wonder he made 60.
Sold 93 figures in total, which included one of the ultra rare yak faces. That guy. The yak face.
Oh.
Yeah. Which is, for those of y'all kind of familiar with Clone Wars, it's that same race as the old Jedi that helps Ahsoka find her lightsaber.
There we go.
Yeah. This one, so now I'm going to kind of go into there's a couple advertisements, because honestly, they advertise a lot of like, hey, this is new, and it's Star Wars, so we're going to advertise it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of just go through all that, even though it's out of order a little bit.
All right.
So they advertise a Boba Fett blaster rifle from Nerf, which I know you would like if it wasn't over, how much is it? Over $100.
Oh Christ!
Nerf is not cheap anymore.
No, they're not.
It's available for pre-order through Hasbro Pulse, though.
Oh, well, that's fucking nice.
Because it doesn't come out until spring of next year for general sale.
Well, hopefully it won't be $100 fucking dollars.
And actually, at the time of recording, okay, it's still on pre-order. It stays on pre-order until the end of this month.
If my kid ever asked me for a fucking $100 toy,
it better be a really good toy.
It better be durable as shit and never break.
Well, let's see. So going into the stats of it, has
I forgot Nerf guns have stats.
It can fire up to 12 Nerf Elite darts, and includes an illuminated sight. and series accurate sound effects. So that's probably why it's $100.
That might explain why.
Also on sale, because like I said, I'm just going to kind of jump through all the stuff that's on sale. They're for the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones, which is this year.
Oh shit!
Yeah, because
it's 2022.
Yeah, and Attack of the Clones was 2002. Yep, which I remember that because of that story that I share all the time about my first Star Wars experiences. 2001 was when I first got introduced to Star Wars with Phantom Menace, and I saw Attack of the Clones as my first theatrical. So because of the anniversary, though, they're releasing a new Padme figure as part of it, and it's it's more of a statue than a figure because it includes the little base. It's her during the Battle of Geonosis, and it has her in her ready stance with her blaster next to a pillar to kind of describe it for you guys. We're looking at it.
Yeah.
There's a little comic that's just for giggles, making fun of the Imperial guy in Solo, giving Han his name. Also on sale, if you've been looking to cosplay as Rey, and you just haven't found your outfit yet, apparently there's a new outfit for the Jakku look. It's been created by a creator known as Dunuo Novo. And apparently along with the actual Jakku style outfit, it comes with the X-Wing helmet, the scavenged X-Wing helmet that she has. So, and then there's some magnetic mini gargoyles of the Rancor on sale that are supposed to match the style of Jabba's throne room. I don't wear earrings, but there's some earrings on sale as well that include have new characters, that have some characters like Yoda, Leia, Mandalorian, and Grogu.
Oh, well, that's nice.
One that I've talked about in Discord with some friends, there is a new Boba Fett sling bag. So if you need a bag to carry your heads in for your bounties.
Oh, right.
There you go. You got that.
You know, that in regards to watching Old Republic stuff and playthroughs, the things that always get me
are the heads and bags.
It was the heads and the bags, and some of the I think it's some of the dark side options where the character will just sort of present the head and let it fall out of their hand. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
Especially that one. I know which one you're talking about, because there's one specifically where you do that to the guy's wife.
I'm like, did you have to go that hard?
Well, yes, because you were hired to make her scared, and that's gonna make her scared.
Yeah, that'll do the trick.
She's not gonna fight the Hutts anymore.
She can't.
Because she was trying to, along with that bag, though, you can't forget your Fett Adidas jacket. Because there's an Adidas jacket that's designed to kind of look like Boba Fett's, I'll show you. I've shown Discord, but that's kind of what it looks like. It's a little track jacket, tracksuit jacket. Then there's also a new potato head that looks like Mando, and it comes with a little Grogu. A new Mandalorian pop figure with him riding the Blurg is out. Mando also has a micro. I know I know some of our listeners and friends of the show are fans of Lego, and there's a new Mando micro Lego piece that has Mando riding in a micro version of the Razor Crest, the micro fighter.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
So, if you're a fan of Legos, there you go. Oh, and that's actually reasonably priced, $9.99. That's a Lego I could buy.
That's something I would buy for my kid.
That's actually reasonably priced for Lego.
I think Lego's gonna be fucking around forever.
But for Lego price, that's actually pretty cheap.
Yeah, considering.
That Funko Pop's not too bad either at $25. Because it's him on a blurg. It's him on a blurg.
Okay.
It's not just him standing.
Yeah. If it was just him standing by himself, I'd be like, all right, son, you're pushing it.
And then I've already got a popcorn maker, but if you want one, there's a Grogu one with him and the little egg thing the little baby basket the floating baby basket he has. So,
all right.
There
was some.
There's some really good stuff on sale that, like, if you are big Star Wars fans like me, you might lose your money.
You might lose some money. God, that kind of reminds.
And it's a little. There's something for everybody too.
Yeah.
Like if you might not care as much about Star Wars, hey, you might find the Nerf gun cool, or say you might think the jacket's cool because like. I joked in Discord. I was like, I don't usually do like I don't run or do track or anything, but I might buy the jacket and start doing it just for the jacket.
God,
because it looks cool. I mean, and then if you're a lot of these are for serious collectors, like the Padme figure. That's definitely for collectors.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even talk about the price for that. I where was that? Yeah, it's $179.99. So that is for like serious That's for serious collectors. And although I might get that for our show because that would look cool up front.
For those of you who, no, actually,
and then I can write it off.
Oh yeah, another tax write-off.
Because it's a prop for the show.
I think that's one of the greatest like flyby comments that you make when we're done with the show.
Yeah, about all the books that we've read.
Yeah, you're like, this is another tax write-off, and I'm like, well, that's good. Contrary to popular belief, I actually do pay my taxes.
I mean, I pay my taxes too, but I'm also able to write things off because we do stuff like this.
However, I'm also not unaware of the fact that I look like a deranged homeless man.
So let's go ahead and, now that we've done the capitalism side of Star Wars, let's talk a little bit about some of the other stuff I read. So they talked a little bit about the shows that are in production.
Yeah.
So Andor is, as of this issue, was still classified as in production. But Bad Batch is now no longer just coming soon rather than spring 2022, which is what was originally.
Okay.
So that means it's either pushed back, like it's probably pushed back. It's probably been moved.
Yeah.
Because we know Obi-Wan's coming up next, and we know after that is Andor.
Yeah, so they probably want to have something for
if they need it.
Winter.
Yeah, well, winter. I'd assume we get Mando season 3.
I suppose they could do that.
We're starting to hit a.
Are there any?
We're starting to hit a point where. Because the way Disney Plus releases their shows is they do Star Wars, Marvel. But we're starting to hit a point where there's just no space in a year to do all the shows that they're making, which means eventually we're gonna have to have shows airing at the same time. Because the way they currently try to space things out is to make sure that, like, if you're in the same demographic, they try to make sure that you're not
overwhelmed,
like you're not. That they're not accidentally advertising 2 shows to the same demographic at the same time. Meanwhile, people like me will watch anything and everything. So I'm currently, while we're about to get Moon Knight this week, I'm also still watching the Proud Family show because they brought the Proud Family back.
Oh yeah, they did,
and it's actually pretty good.
Also, I fucking forgot that Moon Knight's coming out.
Yeah, Moon Knight's this week.
But then again,
it's either this week or next week.
Then again, I'm not a big Marvel.
Yeah.
Well, I like them, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't have the time, or the means, or the interest.
Yeah.
To go and see such things.
But yeah, it's either this week or next week. Well, you don't have to go anywhere. It's on Disney Plus.
I don't have that.
Yeah. Well, you just hang out with me. Because I've got everything.
Yeah, like
the only thing I don't have is Apple Plus, God. Which I need to get Apple TV Plus back because I like a show that's by Rob McElroy, who's the Always Sunny creator. He's the one that plays Mac, and it's basically him running a video game company where they make an MMO. It's pretty funny. So let's see. So that's the updates on shows at the moment. Um, some books that are on their way.
Oh.
We're getting The Mandalorian Search and Find. So A Mandalorian Where's Waldo?
Boy.
But it's like specifically like you're looking for specific people, not the same person.
Oh,
It's one of those books.
I see.
Because you're a bounty hunter, so you're looking for
Where are they?
where's your bounties.
Mm.
Yeah. I assume, anyways, that's what it's going to be. If it is more like Where's Waldo, I guess you're looking for Grogu on every page.
Yeah. Where is he?
Where's my kid?
Green bastard.
Also, we're getting Queen's Hope, which is the third book in the Queen trilogy, which is something we plan to review soon.
Okay. I don't know who the titular queen refers to.
It would be Padme.
Okay.
But it also follows her handmaidens, and so we get a really what makes these books really really good is it gives so much character to all of these handmaidens, and like everybody loves these characters now because of these books. Like they're good characters, but the problem is the movies did not give them that kind of respect. They either are in the background. They're either around or in the background, or they just die.
I don't. Oh yeah, that's
Dorme.
right.
Don't forget Dorme. Never forget Dorme.
God.
She immediately dies within the first 5 minutes of Attack of the Clones.
I mean, they do their job. It's fucked up, but they do their job real well of dying instead of their queen.
And you learn that similar to Padme, which Padme is not her
real name.
Her real name.
Yeah.
Well, Padme's her name. It's the Amidala part that's not true. It's Newberry. Padme Newberry. But you learn that similar to how she had to have her name changed, all the handmaidens had their name changed to have the A part at the end of their name. So you got Dorme, Sabe, which Sabe is one of the best characters to come out of the Queen trilogy so far, because not only has she been in the Queen trilogy, she's been an important part in the Vader comic because she's still alive.
Oh, she's like, I remember when you were a lot more chill than this.
And she also, you know what? I'm not gonna say because we're gonna run into her soon because we're gonna go back to the Vader comics at some point because obviously we got to review the next. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to comics. But yeah, we're gonna review Queen's Hope when that comes out. I am upset because everybody and their mother who I know through the Star Wars community doing stuff like we do, they're all getting review copies, and so they've already read it or are halfway through reading it, and it comes out next month. And I'm just like, we do a review show where we talk about books every week.
Yeah,
it'd be nice.
Oh man.
Because then we could actually, if we got review copies, we could actually talk about books the week they come out and not the next week.
To be honest, I'm glad we're probably gonna end up fuck.
And actually, we might not even get Queen's Hope that week because, depending on my schedule, we might have to skip a week.
Okay. Well, I've also got. It's the first time in a while. I'll peel back the curtain a little
go
bit,
ahead.
that I've had a 39-hour work week.
Yeah. So you were glad that it was just a short story.
Yeah.
That was barely 5 pages.
Yeah. And the upcoming
and the next few weeks are also just short stories. Yeah.
Yeah, is also 39. Sorry, this one hasn't been so bad. It's only been about 19.
Yeah.
Next week is 39, and the week after that.
And to kind of put that into perspective, your job is basically unloading a bunch of
Yeah.
You're the boxes. Yeah, you unload the shipments that come in.
It's not even shipments. It's just us getting the problem. I've explained the problem a few times, but I don't think I've ever addressed the audience. So the problem that we run in is we get our stock re-upped every week.
Yep.
And sometimes there's already stuff that's out on the shelves and we can't actually put stuff out. So it gets stuck there. And then we get more stuff and we can't put that out.
Yep.
and it just keeps getting worse and worse.
And you just have to hold that stuff until like finally you can.
Yeah.
And then you're just like weeks and weeks behind on putting stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, although we get...
That sounds like a problem that could easily be solved by whoever's in charge of ordering the shipments to kind of put a pause on them if they realize that we've got too much inventory.
They don't, though.
Because you can do that. Like, I am absolutely sure that they could just go, we're going to pause our shipments for now.
Yeah.
Because we have like 3 weeks worth of stock in the back.
Yeah. The issue with that is...
The problem is then you'd have to reset up the orders, which you'd have to be like... You'd have to do it when you still have like 2 weeks in your inventory in the back. Because you don't... With the way shipping is currently, you don't know when that shipment will arrive.
I think that's all we would need to do is instead of having them come once a week, we would just have to switch it to
every
2 weeks. And then we might have a fucking chance.
Yeah. But
that's
up to them.
I'm sorry. This is a Star Wars podcast.
No.
I'm complaining about my job.
No, it's fine. It's fine. While it's a Star Wars podcast first and foremost, this is also just talk about whatever. Because, this is our kind of time to just hang out and talk about whatever, and I know our listeners usually don't mind either. Because that's just how podcast works. That's just the format. Tangents happen. Going back on track, though, with books. So we're getting 2 mini/tiny books. We're getting the mini book of lightsabers, which I think you would like, because you liked looking at the inside of lightsabers and looking at hilts.
Yeah.
This is a visual guide to different lightsaber hilts in the galaxy. So that would be a fun one for you, probably.
I want to go on another take.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, while I do like certain lightsaber designs, and I understand... I don't understand how the 2 blades works.
How, like, double-sided?
Yes. I don't know how it works. And also, that seems like a really bad idea if it just gets cut down the middle. Wouldn't it just stop working?
Well, it would stop at least one half, depending. It also depends where it got cut. If it got cut perfectly in the middle, then potentially both your halves survive, or neither half, depending on how you built it. It depends how you built it.
I
because
am so concerned. I'm like, that's both very cool.
But as we see in Phantom Menace, because of where Obi-Wan cut it, one blade still worked.
Okay.
Because technically
it's like personal
you
design.
technically you built 2 lightsabers and you've just put them together.
Yeah.
Which is how Ventress also does hers, because she has the double Dooku blade, the curved hilt, and then she can actually attach it. Which I don't know. I feel like that's even more dangerous with the curved hilt, but
yeah, I don't remember ever seeing her do.
She's done it in Clone Wars show. I think she actually does it in the Clone Wars movie, which is like the pilot episodes of Clone Wars. I argue that it's just 4 episodes of the show, but which is also how I've gotten less. Because when it came out, people were mad because it was not good. Because what they did was they were like, it's a new movie, it's animated, and it's going to be a lead up to our show that's coming out. And we're putting it in theaters.
Maybe not the best call.
Well, yes, the budget was higher than most TV show budgets for animated features, like animated shows at the time. It still was not movie theater quality.
Yeah, no. I remember watching it on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
At the time. And I was like...
Because it's high budget, because George paid out of his own pocket.
Oh, boy.
To produce this show. Which is one of the reasons why when Disney bought Star Wars, they were like, okay, we kind of have to cancel the show because George, while we've got Disney money, George was paying out of pocket to help make the show.
Yeah.
Like Warner Brothers, I guess, had put some money in because Cartoon Network was airing it, but who knows how much they were putting in versus how much George put in.
Yeah, who knows?
And now George is just sitting on retirement.
Yeah.
The other book that's coming out is the Tiny Book of Legendary Women, which it's gonna basically be a fun book with quotes from all of our favorite Star Wars women. So Princess Leia, Rey, Padme.
I'm remembering.
There's gonna be some good quotes in
Yeah.
there. God, Leia especially has
Yeah.
like some of the best quips.
Yeah, she does. She's got those real quick flyby.
And then last but not least, the Mandalorian sticker collection, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a sticker book. You like sticker books? There you go. I like sticker books sometimes. Like I get sticker books only because like sometimes there's some really cool stickers in them. Like I know I'm not the demographic for these books at all.
But
Like I'm not 5, but I remember getting like a ton of sticker books. So episode 1 especially, I got a ton of sticker books for episode 1 because that was me getting into episode 1 was also the height of like the Scholastic Book Fair time.
oh yeah.
And this was also like the height of Star Wars books being at the Scholastic Book Fair. So a bunch of sticker books were part of that. I got a ton of sticker books from that. And then I was dumb and put the stickers in the pages of the book.
No. On the chapter pages or like the cover?
Like in the actual, well, it's not chapters because it's a sticker book. It's like a book that's that thin, but like in the actual books, yeah, like on the pages.
No, Caleb.
And then you can't take
no.
those stickers off because back then, like stickers now are a little bit easier to pull off of pages.
You were fucked.
But back then you were, yeah. Back then they were
stuck. You weren't getting those motherfuckers.
And then if you tried to, then you end up with like the even worse scenario, which is, oh, I've taken the sticker off, but there's the back half of it that's still just there, so there's a bunch of white fluff on the page. Man, my B1 battle droid stickers, man, they went through some stuff.
Oh man.
And then that was also how I really got into chapter books as well. Like Jude Watson is a really good author that got me into Star Wars books, because Jedi Apprentice was a series she wrote, and it was basically Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan before the Phantom Menace doing their thing. And they were like small chapter books for like, young like older than young reading age, but like around like, middle school reading age. So, you got like the same kind of reading level as a Magic Treehouse book, which was also my jam back in the day.
Magic Treehouse was pretty fun.
Especially once they really started going into the Merlin and stuff. Like, they really went into the Arthurian legend stuff.
As a guy, me and my brother had like the first 4 books on like an audiobook DVD.
Yeah.
And then we also had another one that was not it wasn't Magic Treehouse. It was like Patrick something blank and the bear in the attic.
That sounds actually kind of interesting.
It was a collection about him being, it was like a weird adult thing where he's like, yeah, so I went in and took my driver's test and I'd been working and putting my truck in between the hay bales for parallel parking. And the man behind the desk just gave me my license.
Oh my gosh.
It's not a joke. And him just,
I hope you still have that because
I fucking want to listen to it so bad, and I don't know where it is or if it got destroyed.
That's the worst.
I know it exists. It's an entire series of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know where they are.
Yeah. Maybe it's on Audible now.
I hope it is, because they're fucking great.
So let's go ahead and jump from books to comics. So there are some upcoming comics that include, well, Han Solo and Chewbacca, which now that we're on, it's already out. I've read it. It's a good start. It was one of the first things we reported on for the season. Because we talked about how they were doing a Han Solo and Chewbacca comic and that they have to work with Greedo.
Oh, God.
Which, the first issue, definitely... doesn't matter if I give some spoilers. I don't think
Not
anybody
to me.
cares. I mean, we're going to read it eventually.
Yeah.
So, Han Solo might have found his dad. Because the mission brings him to Corellia.
Okay.
And this guy thinks that he might... Like, Han and this guy think that this guy might be his dad. Because Han said the name of his dad, and the guy that he was talking to works at the Corellian shipyards,
Mm-hmm.
which is where Han's dad works.
Mm-hmm.
Because Han grew up. That's why he loves YT. Like that's why he likes the Millennium Falcon. Because he likes the YT ships. Because Corellia is known for designing them, and his dad worked on those type of ships.
Oh.
But also, is this guy scamming Han?
I don't like Corellia.
Because it is Corellia.
It's fucking Corellia. God damn it.
Like, people
Which
who...
place is worse for crime, Tatooine or Corellia?
Well, I've already told you my opinion. I'd rather live on Tatooine and their twin son hotness than on Corellia.
I'd rather age 20 years for every 10 than deal with Corellian politics.
Yeah. Also coming out is Crimson Reign 3 and 4, which is the follow-up to the War of the Bounty Hunters storyline.
Yeah.
So that's why we're eventually going to come back to the Vader comics, because we got to read Crimson Reign when that's
Miss
finished.
Kira, I have the sense that you may or may not be very, very fucked.
I mean, well, you know, they got 2 more storylines, because they got Crimson Reign and then they Crimson End, I think is what they're calling the last of the trilogy. Because they're doing a trilogy of the events for the event comics.
Well, hopefully that works out.
And then we're getting Halcyon Legacy number 3 and 4, which is a tie-in to the new Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel. Because tie-in.
Oh, man.
Because we got to advertise. And it basically tells stories of like the actual ship throughout different periods of Star Wars history. So I've read the first issue. The second issue's out now, and I haven't read it yet. But the first issue takes place... So the main story takes place at the same time that the hotel and the park takes place, which is during the sequel era.
Okay.
So, like, if you were to ever go to the Disney park and go to Galaxy's Edge, there's a story there.
Yeah.
Same thing with, like, when you go to the hotel, there's the role-playing side of being at the hotel.
All right.
There's a story, and it's canon.
Oh, boy.
And it's basically in the sequel era. But the first issue of Halcyon Legacy showed basically somebody told a story and was like, here's a story of the Legacy back during the High Republic era. And how the Nihil tried to take over it.
Speaking of the Nihil, I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm like, man, the Nihil, from what I have seen, do make the Empire look like a bunch of little bitches. In terms of the shit they've done comparatively.
Yeah. Yeah, what have you guys done, Empire? You destroyed one whole world.
Yeah, well, those are rookie numbers. In comparison.
Although they actually blew up a planet.
Yeah, Nihil didn't have to blow up a planet.
No, they just, yeah.
Unless we count terraforming to an extreme degree.
So then we've also got the mainline comics for, so we got Star Wars number 22 and 23, Dr. Aphra 19, Bounty Hunter number 21, and Darth Vader number 21, all of which are going to tie into the Crimson Reign storyline in some way, because that's the big storyline going on right now.
Think we'll see the favorite scary ass bird woman.
I can't remember if we've already seen her, because I've been reading it as they come out.
She scares me. I'm worried about it.
Yeah.
Not in the, like, for her safety. I mean,
for everybody else.
For everybody else.
Well, who's scarier, her or Deathstick?
I'm gonna go with Deva.
Diva?
Yeah, because we see Deathstick lose. We haven't seen Diva lose.
Let's see. Also, it's kind of the end of an era. Phase 1 of the High Republic is completely out. Like every book and comic that's part of Phase 1. Meanwhile, we're still catching up until Phase 2 comes out. We're riding through it still. So let's talk about some of the articles now.
All right.
Actually, one more thing before we get to the articles. There was a giveaway going on, which came with a quiz as the form of entry.
All right.
And the prize is a RTFX model kit of Obi-Wan and Emperor Palpatine. And I'll kind of show you what it looks like on here.
All right.
Where is it at? Yeah, here it is. So that's what they'll look like. So you'll obviously, since they're model kits, I think you have to put them together.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need help with that because I suck at models. The question, though,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew the answer immediately thanks to visual dictionaries. Like, that's the only way you're going to know the answer to this.
Okay.
What was the name of the group of statues displayed in Supreme Chancellor Palpatine's office? A. Two Knights of Baroni. B. Three Sisters of Mercy with two eyes. Or C. Four Sages of Dwarty. They all have two eyes at the end. Now, I'll let you make your guess. I won't tell you if you're correct or not because obviously this contest is still going until
Does
May 4th. It says is when you have to have your email in.
they have statues in his office?
Yep. In fact, I will pull them up.
Yeah.
Um.
I'll try not.
Yeah, look
I'll
away
make
while
sure
I
that
type
the
it in
answer
because
isn't on the page.
yeah, look away while I pull them up so that way.
Let me know when it's good.
Let me see about just downloading the image because I don't want the name at the top.
Yeah, no, I don't get to see the.
Palp statues is what I'll call them in the save file. And I'll pull them up for our. You're good now.
Okay.
I'll pull it up for the viewers at home. So this is it.
Okay.
These are the statues that are in his office.
What was the?
You got two Knights of Baroni, three Sisters of Mercy, four Sages of Dwarty, which, yeah, I just realized this might give away the answer.
Yeah. It might be the one with 4 in it.
Pick number 3, my lord. I didn't think of that.
To be honest, though, if you hadn't shown me that, I would never know.
Yeah. So I guess there's your answer. I guess so. Yeah. It's the four Sages of Dwarty. So hey, if you wanted to quickly enter into that, there's your answer.
Don't you bastards cheat now?
Well, it's fine.
Despite the
At this
fact that
point,
I essentially just cheated.
at this point, just go for it.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want anybody else to enter because I want it, but I suck at these things. So maybe somebody who's better at that type of we'll get it.
Maybe. Who knows?
Somebody that's actually good with model kits. So there were some interesting articles.
Oh, yeah.
So we got a really amazing interview of the three men that were inside the Jabba puppet during Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Did you read that?
Yes, actually.
It's a really good interview.
It is.
And you learn a lot about the history of like puppeteering in film because a lot of these guys are either had already been in the industry doing puppetry for Jim Henson specifically.
Dark Crystal. I
Dark
think.
Crystal
Like
was two of them were on Dark Crystal. One was around even longer than that.
One of them had been like doing marionette shit since they were a child.
Yeah, like because their parents did puppeteering.
Oh, God.
And that was the one who was the lead puppeteer of the Jabba puppet. He was the left hand and the mouth.
Yeah.
And then the other guy was the right hand and something else.
The weird part.
And then of course the guy that was the tail was also Master Logray for the Ewoks. It was interesting also hearing technology, like what they had to do to like communicate.
They're like, yeah, we had like
really tiny like bad CRT TVs that were black and white.
We also had like little earpieces so we could kind of talk.
Yeah.
There was also they're like, we just climbed in and had to stay there for a couple of hours.
Yeah, like 10-hour days.
Yeah, I was
10 to 12 hour days of just being in the costume.
I'm like, I fucking could never do that.
And of course, but I mean, also they were able to goof around in between takes. They were like,
no, that wasn't what got to me. I was like, I don't know how much space is actually in there.
Apparently enough for three guys. Well, Yeah, 3 guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't. If something goes wrong, y'all are fucked.
But then on top of that, there was also
But
they also had somebody running the eyes and stuff
Yeah.
outside the costume, so that way they could like,
yeah.
because they had actual animatronics as well doing certain pieces.
One of them
And-
was like,
And
One of them was like, I brought candy. Another one's like, I got used to being able to do stuff.
I just
where I
read-
could like read the news.
Yeah, I would just read the newspaper. Yeah. And then like no actual frogs were harmed when Jabba
Yeah.
ate the frog. So there you go.
One of the interesting ones, and it is in regards to Jim Henson and the Dark Crystal, and he was like, man, I got this job. It's about him and the
Yeah.
job, and he's like, I got this job offer. And I talked with him about it, and he was like, apparently Mr. Henson was,
He was like, you're still under contract with
Okay,
me.
I
So
understand that you're still under contract with me, so if you finish up your stuff with me early,
then you can.
then you can go on and do it. And I'm like, thanks for being a fair boss.
Yeah. Well, because this was also at a time where it was even harder to work for multiple companies at once. Like it's hard now to do like multiple film jobs at once, but it was even harder then, because back that's a little bit closer to a time where you worked for the studio that you were under. Like you worked full time for that studio. There was no, but at the same time, it was like technically you're already working on Star Wars 2, Mr. Henson. So can't I?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there was a guy that was a Skeksis, and then became the tail.
Yep. I don't know if that's going up or down in the puppetry world, but it's something.
Well, he went from one terrifying creature to another.
Yeah. It's like switching schools.
But yeah, I thought it was fun looking back onto that. Of course, we have CGI Jabba now,
Yeah.
and CGI Hutts in general.
How do you feel about that?
I think they look fine now, but obviously, like back in Phantom Menace, Jabba was a little rough. But
Yeah.
and at the same time, though, like puppetry is a dying art form, so
Yeah.
I guess that's another issue.
Mm.
So of course we no longer have, like, the Henson company still exists, and his son, Jim Henson's son, still is very heavily involved in the film world and TV world, but it's not the same degree.
Yeah, but he also did that Happy Time Murders.
Yeah.
He's gonna, continue his father's legacy. He surely did take a piss on it.
I think it.
No one heard that.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
Scotty walked in and he was talking about the I guess his disdain for Happy Time
Well,
Murders.
it's funny, but it is definitely taking a piss on.
Yeah. Quote, taking a piss on Henson stuff. I think yes and no. I think it's okay. I think it's good that he kind of is willing to laugh at that type of stuff, because like puppetry doesn't need to be just for the kids, so to speak. Because we're talking about the articles in here, and there was a interview with the 3 guys that were in the Jabba puppet. So yeah, I mean, that would be cool. I would kind of like to see more of a blend again. I'm surprised that like people like I know Favreau is very much like, I love CGI, like not to the same degree as Lucas, but very much close to it.
Well, I was older than I should have been when I found out that Nine Numb and Akbar are puppets.
Not just guys in
Not
costumes.
guys in costumes. I mean, I was way older.
Yeah.
I thought I think it's when I met Mike Quinn at Celebration in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
When he got pictures of him operating the puppet, I was like, I just thought that was you in the suit. It was him in the suit.
Yeah, I would assume there's certain scenes. Yeah, I would assume that there's certain movies or scenes where,
But in Jedi, it's just a puppet.
huh?
The
odd.
Nine Numb is just a chest piece.
Yeah. I would like to see, though, a return to puppetry mixed with CGI. Yeah, blend works best, in my opinion, as well. So let's go to the next article and talk about the criminal syndicate. It's why we're really here.
God. I learned more about how they work And then I got confused because I also read the article on spice.
Oh, I did not get to read the spice article yet.
Neat.
Please tell me what's in that article.
Essentially, it's like, here's sort of what it does, but we're not really sure. We don't fucking know. The closest thing we've got it is like opioids, like morphine and heroin, which I'm not entirely sure is an opioid, so don't quote me on that. I don't do drugs.
Yeah, those are both all.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. You're good.
And it's like, that's the closest thing we have. And
yeah.
there are different versions of it.
Yeah,
much
I would assume there's different versions of spice because there's a discussion to be had of, well, like we discussed last time we had talked to Scotty about spice and stuff. Medicinal. Like, there's got to be medicinal spice, probably.
Yeah. I think the really illegal part comes from the organized crime and slave labor used to make it.
Yeah, because it's from the mines of Kessel, which is all slave labor.
Yeah. And
Glitter stem spice is supposed to be from the spice. There's multiple spices.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the spice in bubble pit, I'm not sure. It's not glitter stem. It's called something else.
Yeah, it's just, I think they just say spice.
they just
never
say spice.
They never
don't give
specify.
any
No,
specifics.
I'll look it up. But he
Yeah.
I should not crash your show. You're nobody can hear what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's trying to figure out which.
Star Wars, and I like
No. I'm fine with that.
And
useless knowledge. I mean, I have my own podcast. I should talk about it there.
and God,
Sensana spice, which is mined on Kessel. Which is mined
Yeah.
on Kessel. Yeah.
one time I'll crash it. We'll reverse the rules.
Yeah, but it is mined on Kessel. But Sensana is mined on Kessel because that's also the spice that's in Solo.
Okay. So probably illegal as shit.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, because there's
And-
glitter stem, there's Sensana, and I think there's another kind. But yeah, that's basically your spice.
So we were discussing this earlier about hut space, and I'm like, do all the crime syndicates just hang out in hut space since it's like its own country over there?
No, because the Pikes also have their own set of planets as well, because that's mentioned in the criminal syndicate chat section. They mentioned their planet and that they've got control over. Let me pull it up. It's actually not too far from where I'm at currently in my digital copy. Well, they run Kessel because the Pikes are in charge of spice, for the most part. Let's see. Oh, but they're based on Obadiah. I feel like saying Obadiah is hilarious, but we're gonna go with that because that's how it's phonetically spelled. Because it's Oba space Dia. So
What the
Obadiah.
Fuck is that?
That's their homeworld.
No, I mean, where is it on the galactic map?
On a galactic map?
Yeah,
Let's find out.
because if I'm right about this, no wonder the
But
Empire has such a fucking hard time with crime.
But Obadiah does. It's near Kessel.
Mhm.
Because it's I think it's either because it's like that's why they were like, oh, we should take over Kessel because it's like right nearby. It appears in an episode of Clone Wars because
Yeah.
Obi-Wan and
They're very close.
Anakin go there. Yeah. It is in the region called the Slice. It's an Outer Rim territory planet. So yeah, all the crime is in the Outer Rim.
Makes
Now,
sense.
not specifically hut space, but yes.
Yeah. So I guess they're like, if we just do the crime far enough away, no one will care.
Yeah. Well, and that goes into the discussion of why the High Republic versus the prequel era Republic. The High Republic actually cares what's going on in the Outer Rim,
And
whereas the prequel era Republic is kind of like
not.
that's their problem.
do you think it's because of what the Nihil did that they're so like, man, fuck it, the Outer Rim can be left alone?
I don't know. I mean, that's a
Because let's think about it. They're like, that's not actually too far back,
it's
considering some
yeah,
species
it's-
live
it-
up to
yeah,
1,000 years.
considering we can already name like 6 characters that like are Jedi alone.
Yeah.
And like one character who's not a Jedi, who are long lived and we know are in this era. One of which we haven't seen yet, like because Plo Koon is long lived, but we haven't seen him yet.
Yeah.
But we've seen Yoda, we've seen Master Oppo Rancisis. Jarl Poof, Yaddle.
And they're like, I can see why they would eventually come to the conclusion of, like, man,
Which the Jedi still try.
we can try, but
also in the case of Hutt Space, you can only do so much because
yeah,
by the prequel era, the Jedi are specifically working for the Republic, which means they can't interfere with another. Once again, it goes into it's a separate country. They can't interfere in another country's politics.
they're like, we sure would like to, but we're not allowed.
It's why they don't just free all the slaves.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's something that's on their to-do list. It's just really low because they don't know how they would get away with it.
They're like, we want to do this, but at the same time, because we have essentially
aligned ourselves with the country, we can't. And so, yeah, they talk about the Hutt clans in the Syndicate chapter. They talk about the Pike Syndicate. We get a little bit about Crimson Dawn, especially since Crimson Dawn is making a comeback. So, we learn about Voss Dryden, Darth Maul's involvement, and now Kira's. Yeah. We learn a little bit about Black Sun, which are kind of the rivals to the Pikes. And Black Sun, I think, is one of the cooler syndicates. It's also where we get Prince Jazor from one of Scotty's favorite characters era, which is the Shadows of the Empire video game, which has his smuggler character Dash Rendar that he likes. It's not canon, but Prince Jazor was recently made canon because he's made an appearance in the comics. We talk about the best pirate ever, Hondo Ohnaka and his gang.
See, I don't know a lot about the man, but I do know that he actually treats his subordinates rather well.
Yeah, unless you really fuck up, he's actually pretty fair.
Yeah, I do.
And even if you betray the man and you join Darth Maul, he's like, oh yeah, you can come back.
He's like, no, I get it.
He's like, you can come back.
I think,
but also, he's small time, so at the same time you have to consider, is he doing this because he's actually just really considerate and friendly, or is he doing it because he realizes that his crew is very small and he needs all the help he can get? Or both.
Yeah.
Which is also likely. Both is likely because it's Hondo.
Okay. As you know, I've been apparently going back and rereading The Art of War again.
Yeah.
And a lot of my characters, you've seen it over the course of like
they fit it
of games. A lot of them are like soldiers or stuff like that who have
military men
a
of some
strong,
sort,
like bond with their units, and for some reason it fucking keeps working.
Yeah.
And so essentially it's like, always treat your men well and with respect and be forgiving.
But make sure they also know you're in charge.
They know you're in charge. And it's like, treat them as if they were your sons, and they will follow you into the gates of hell, I think is the quote.
Yep, that's it.
I'm like, well, fucking no wonder they like Ohnaka. He fucking understands that rule.
I mean, hell, even if you're working against him, he treats you really nicely.
Yeah. I do.
Like, his relationship with Obi-Wan and Anakin is hilarious.
Yeah. I like one of my favorite scenes is when Count Dooku, Obi-Wan, and Anakin are trying to break out, and they're like, there's probably not that many people guarding us, and there's fucking 8 people outside the cell.
Yep.
Just armed to the teeth, and they're like, maybe this wasn't such a good idea.
Yeah.
We can wait a little bit longer.
And then we also, on a very similar end of the stick, we go to the Broken Horn Syndicate, which is basically the Rebels version of a Hondo Ohnaka character, except a little more sketchy.
Yeah.
Like Vizago is, like, he works with the good guys, but he's a little sketchier when doing so than, say, a Hondo. Hondo, you kind of know the cards that are on the table. Vizago, you're not quite sure.
I don't trust any motherfucker that employs droid. No. No, actually.
We're not getting back into the droid discussion.
No, it's fine, actually.
But yeah, Vizago is a little sketchier, but like at the end of the day, he's never properly betrayed them.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, he's still a good guy. Because that's something that the beginning of this article mentions, is that not everybody who breaks the law is bad. Yeah. And not everybody who upholds the law is good.
Yep.
Now, there's a fine line between the law and breaking the law, but there's also that line between good and evil.
Yeah.
Those lines still exist. The fun part is looking at characters who follow the law and are evil, or break the law and are good.
Yep.
Because that's where the fun is. Like that's how you make a morally gray character well. Because everybody thinks, oh, a morally gray character should be an evil character, but that has good. No. A good morally gray character that's evil should be somebody who follows the law still, but uses the law to their advantage. Because that's how you make a good evil character that's morally gray. Same thing with a character. I mean, it's why Han Solo is one of the best examples of a morally gray character. He's got a heart of gold, but he's breaking the law a ton. And you could argue that our heroes break the law in the original trilogy, anyways, because they're the rebels.
Quite a lot, actually.
They're the rebels. The Empire is the law. Now, is that law good? No, of course not. That's the point.
What was the... So, my feelings in regards to, like, upholding the law or not, or in regards to such matters is often... And I think a lot of... So I'm going to quote St. Thomas Aquinas on this. And the exact quote, if memory serves me correctly, is an unjust law is no law at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something I try to believe in for the most part. And I'm like, there are some crimes that I'm like, really? How this fucking managed to be a crime?
Yeah.
And other ones I'm like, no, I get it.
And the ones that you wonder, how did this manage to be a crime? If you ever look into them, you realize, oh, it's to oppress somebody.
Yeah.
Like it's all like the laws that you wonder why they exist and realize, oh, this law is dumb. When you research them, they always end up being some form of oppression.
Other times they're just weird and
sometimes they're weird, but for the most part, like if you look into those type of laws, you realize why they exist and why they're still around, even if nobody upholds them.
Yeah.
Speaking of the law, though, the article also goes into, like we hinted at earlier, individuals that hold the law. And we see, so the Mandalorian, you got Grief Karga and Cara Dune. So the article kind of talks about the fact that in the Outer Rim worlds, there really is no like standardized law.
Yeah.
It's really a bunch of martial. It's the West.
Yeah.
It's keeping with Star Wars theme of it's a Western.
Yep.
It's a Western. You got your sheriffs and your marshals. And so you've got Grief Karga, who kind of takes on the role as magistrate, which is basically mayor.
Yeah.
He's basically the mayor governor of his planet. And then you got Cara Dune, who becomes the marshal. And Cara Dune even gets officially recognized as the marshal by the standing government. And then on the other end, you've got Cobb Vanth, who's a sheriff out in the middle of Tatooine, the marshal.
Oh, no.
And, that's just kind of his role as the marshal.
Yeah.
And
oh, wait, no, he's not dead.
No, he lived.
He's recovering.
He's recovering. Although but
he was very close.
I am glad though to see that they're keeping a lot of his background from the Aftermath novel, because in the Mandalorian they don't reference his background as a slave, because they kind of just go from the point they just do the mining collective part, the Red Key Syndicate, and they just show the Red Key Raiders. They just show that part, and then forward. They kind of miss out the part of him being a slave and how he became the marshal. And then fought back against the Red Key Raiders. I would like to see a little bit more of his background recognized, because Aftermath was a good novel. And then we'll keep to the Outer Rim. We'll talk about him last. But on the Outer Rim in Jakku, you got Constable Zuvio. Once again, kind of just takes the job because somebody has to.
Yeah.
Like somebody, a lot of these are somebody has to be in charge. So I guess I'll do it because I care about the people enough that
it's either I care or I'm the only one actually skilled enough to do it.
Yep. Meanwhile, on the not as skilled end of it, in my opinion, you got Tandivo from Clone Wars, who is part of the CSF, the Coruscant Security Force.
Is
Lieutenant Tanavos Exanter Devo, to be exact, and he's basically the inspector.
Inspector Clouseau.
Yeah, he's Inspector Clouseau. I'd say more closer to Inspector Gadget though, in his very much. I'm not that great of a detective, but I will get close to figuring it out. But other people will figure it out before me, like Padme.
Mm.
And so that's kind of my feelings on that. So let's there's more articles, but let's go ahead and just jump to the main piece of today, so that way we can kind of get through here. So the main piece is the short story.
Yeah.
The Wesell Run.
Wesell Run.
A pun on the Kessel Run, which is we were discussing off the air. I was like, oh, so this is the official pronunciation then, because, as a younger kid, and since you never heard the name Zam Wesell on screen.
Yeah, no.
In the back of my head, I'm like, how do you pronounce this? Is it phonetically, or is it going to be a weird space name where it said like a word that we know, but it's spelled nothing like that? So Wesell or Weasel. But it's Wesell, because the Wesell Run.
Yeah.
So this story is Zam Wesell trying to do a bounty,
Mm-hmm.
and she's yeah, go ahead.
She's examining it, and she's like, all right.
Also, spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. This is
the part of the show where you get
section.
your spoiler alert.
This one's going to be quite a bit shorter.
Yeah, it's
I'd
short
imagine.
because it's only 5 pages.
Yeah. So she's scoping out the place where her target is, and she's looking, and she's looking, and she's looking, and she's like, all right, there's the target. Oh, that could be a problem.
Yeah, there's 3 really good. I forget what the name of them are. Let me pull it up. 3 Mabari, which are apparently really good hand-to-hand combatants. Yeah. And she was apparently once one of them.
Yeah, and she's looking at.
She's like, I could take one of these guys.
She's like, 1 I could probably take,
but 3
is pushing it. So what I'm gonna do.
Jeff is in the chat. The crime syndicate is run by B9, FYI. You know what? I would not be surprised if B9 is somehow still alive by the time we hit the main eras.
Fucking wouldn't surprise me at all.
But as we were saying,
bastard's immortal.
Yeah, as we were saying though.
And so she's looking at the 3 Mabari, and she's like, I can't take that. Fuck, I gotta go call him up, don't I? Fuck, I gotta call him. Okay.
Because she realizes, one, the Mabari also... On top of that, she realizes the Mabari are afraid of only one type of armor, and it's Mandalorian armor.
And so she's like, I gotta call this asshole, but I don't want to call him.
But he's also gonna...
But he's also really good.
And he's also the only guy I kind of trust, but not really.
Yeah.
He's the closest to trust that I've got of a fellow bounty hunter.
So I better go and call him. Hey, Django. I got a job, and I'll give you half the pay if you help me.
Okay.
That's
basically it.
What happens, except Django's an asshole about it.
Yeah, he waits a few seconds and then says okay.
He's like, fine.
Well, give me coordinates, and they make his way there, and they scope it out. She gives him the lay of the land. She tells him, hey, it's got to be a live bounty, all that good stuff. She lays down everything. Because that's the other issue, is she could go... That's the other reason why she's getting Django to help.
Yeah.
Is because she realizes that I could easily get this bounty still, but they'd be dead.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't
do me any good.
I wouldn't get paid because it's alive only.
Yeah. And so she goes, they go in, they do their battle. But during the course of it, their not target, that we'll get into later.
Yeah.
Takes out a blow dart and shoots.
Well, yeah, and this is after they've beaten 2 out of the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 out of the 3 of the Mabari, because there's one still hiding.
Yep. And so
he takes the blow dart and shoots Django with it.
Yeah.
Because it manages to get right under his helmet.
Yep.
I guess he needs a little bit better neck protective.
Mandalorians.
Yeah, necks are the weak point.
Necks and joints.
Yeah, as we learn,
same as regular armor. Actually,
as we learn also with Attack of the Clones, he never gets that neck protection.
No, he does not. Might have helped
Might
just
have,
a little bit.
yeah. A little bit of neck armor he might still be alive.
But, and so Zam is briefly debating as to whether or not she should just go after the target or leave him behind.
Yeah.
And she's like, so she goes to try to, and essentially the door's locked and she can't open it. So she goes, well, shit. How am I gonna open it?
Yeah,
While Django's asking her for help.
Because he's dying.
Yeah. And she's like, hey,
You've got your rocket launcher.
can you...
Can you go pew pew with it?
And he's like, yeah, I could if I wasn't fucking dying.
And she's like, fine, I guess I will. Well, actually, first she's like, no, just do it. And he's like, if I shoot this wrist rocket, I'm going to shoot you. And she's like,
fine.
yeah. So she goes to,
I also did not know. I should have known after reading The War of the Bounty Hunters that bounty hunting is fucking cutthroat as hell. In
Oh,
Star
yeah,
Wars.
it is.
And I'm like, really? Just not even. Your first thought is, oh, I can go get that guy instead of maybe helping your partner.
And so Django suggests, hey, looking in the drawer where he pulled out the dart to begin with.
Fortunately, he's right.
Yeah. And so, yeah, because she smells it first. She actually pulls the dart out of his neck to smell the poison, and she figures out what the poison is. And she's like, all right. Well, and she looks at the thing, the yellow vial of goo that they find. And she's like, oh, well, this looks like the cure last time I've seen it.
Yeah. And she's like, but if I'm wrong, you're fucked, man.
And he's like, yeah, I'll take that chance.
I'll take it.
It's like, I'll die either way.
Yeah.
So he takes it, and fortunately, it is the cure.
Yeah.
What they call it, the anti-venom. They didn't call it venom. It's the anti-venom.
It works.
And so,
Yeah,
yep. And so he shoots his rocket, and sure enough, oh no, she did fight that third guy because it was while he was getting shot that she fought the third Mabari. So I was about to say, where'd that third Mabari go? He's dead.
He's dead now.
So they catch up to their target, who just in time because they're fidgeting with the controls to their escape ship.
They're like, don't you fucking move.
Yeah, and so they make sure that it's not another changeling like her. Because remember, Zam is a changeling.
Yep. It works.
And yeah, they capture. There's a little bit of pettiness, but they both are like, it was still good working with you.
Yeah. You almost left me to die, but you.
Yeah, like Zam's even like, I saved your life, so I should take more of the money. And Django's like, except I've also saved your life plenty of times, so let's not do this.
Let's just take even pay
and call it a day.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. It was a good short story. You get
yeah.
I mean, and then of course it says next issue we're getting a Grievous story, so that's going to be interesting. So I guess we're jumping ahead again.
Yeah.
At some next month. Thankfully, you got a month. We got a month of catching up before that happens.
In the end, it all worked out fine. Except it didn't. We know how that story ends.
Jeff said, hey, by the way.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. He was watching while on lunch.
Mm.
That's why he left the comment.
I see.
So, yeah. I'd say that was a good story. I mean, it served the purpose. It gave us a little bit of insight on Zam, because we don't know, in canon, we don't really know the relationship.
Shows up once.
Yeah, and in canon, like in Legend, Zam and Django are like really tight.
Yeah.
And we learn a lot about that connection of like, and it's almost romantic in the comics and in Legends, but in canon we don't have that.
Yeah.
We don't know what type of relationship it is. So here it's very much a very professional.
Yeah.
It's very like, all right, we'll work together, but that's it.
Yep. Zam's like, can almost trust you.
But not quite.
But not quite.
All right, so let's...
Because bounty hunting.
Yeah, so before we end it, there is a quiz. Because there's a quiz in every Insider magazine. So let's take that quiz. Well, let's have you take that quiz along with our audience at home, and I'll take it too. Because the answers are at the end of it, so I'll try not to look at that.
Okay.
So, the quiz, let's see what it is. You don't survive in the Outer Rim by being stupid. Dive into the underworld to answer these questions on Hondo Ohnaka's role in galactic histories. So it's specifically about Hondo Ohnaka.
Okay. I don't know a lot about him. I just know how he treats his people.
All right, so in a jam with the Jedi, who was sent to confirm that Hondo had kidnapped a Sith Lord? A. Luminara Unduli and Barriss Offee. B. Mace Windu and Yoda. C. Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. D. Plo Koon and Ahsoka Tano. I'll actually be kind of disappointed if you get this wrong.
Well, it's either C or D.
The reason I'm going to be disappointed is because you referenced this episode, like...
So probably C.
Yeah, it's Obi-Wan and Anakin. Because you literally referenced this episode like 5 minutes ago.
All right.
Which planet did Hondo's pirate gang operate on when he first met the Jedi? A. Utapau. B. Florum. C. Christophsis. D. Felucia.
That's not actually one I know. But
Just take a wild guess then.
I'm going to go with C.
It is not Christophsis. It is Florum. I knew that one, so you were good. What did Hondo use in his duel with Anakin Skywalker on Felucia? A Beskar spear, a vibroblade, an electro staff, or a stolen lightsaber?
Anakin has a history of losing his lightsaber. I'm going to go with D, I guess?
Nope,
No?
it was the electro staff because Anakin had his lightsaber, so it was the lightsaber versus the electro staff. It wouldn't have been a duel. Which Force-sensitive person was killed when some of Hondo's gang rebelled against him? Asajj Ventress, Evan Peel, Savage Opress, or Adi Gallia?
Well, it's not Ventress or Savage.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ventress makes it to Rebels, and Savage is, I think, killed by Palpatine. So what were the other two?
Evan Peel or Adi Gallia?
I don't think Evan Peel would be it, because that sounds like a guy you could meet on the street, so probably the last one.
Yeah, so your logic was kind of right, but you got the correct answer, Adi Gallia. That was the episode where Hondo's gang rebelled against him and joined Maul and Savage for a little bit. And then Ventress doesn't make it to Rebels, but she does make it past Clone Wars. Well, at least past the show. Not past the Clone Wars itself. She dies before the Clone Wars ends. Well, I'm not going to say where because we're going to get to that eventually. Evan Peel is a Jedi Master, but he's not in this episode. I don't think he's dead yet, but he does die in the show. And then Savage, you are correct. Palpatine kills him. It's actually Savage who kills Adi Gallia.
Oh. Once again, I'm right about something being dangerous, but wrong about the reason.
Yeah. So what did Hondo hope to steal from the Jedi cruiser, the Crucible? Kyber crystals, younglings, architect droid Huyang, or hyperfuel?
I don't think it's younglings, because I don't think he would kidnap children. So it's probably either the droid or hyperfuel. I'm going to say the droid?
It was the Kyber crystals.
Oh, fuck.
Because that was the episode with the younglings making their lightsabers.
Oh.
It was after, and Architect Droid was the one helping them. Yep. But yeah, you are, once again, on the right track. You are correct that he would never kidnap children. That's kind of a step too far for him. He will hold them hostage, but he will not, like, he wouldn't harm them. All right. Rebel without a cause. Where did Hondo claim he had found an abandoned Imperial cargo ship to pillage? Bespin, Winkatu, Onderon, or Hosnian Prime?
It's not Bespin because there's fucking nothing on Bespin.
I might actually have to look at the answer for this one because I don't know it.
I think I'm gonna go with Hosnian Prime.
All right, you're going with Hosnian Prime. I'm going with Bespin. Let's see what the answer is. Which question is this? This is question 6. We're both wrong. It's Winkatu. I should have realized because that was the name that was the weirdest out of them, and I was like, they never go. I started to think about it after I said Bespin. I was like, they've never gone to Bespin, and they definitely haven't gone to Hosnian Prime and Rebels, and they didn't go to Onderon either. Crud. Which species did Hondo's co-conspirator Melch belong to? Gamorrean, Deveronian, Ugnaught, or Weequay? And here's a hint: they got a picture of him. That's Melch.
Well, he's not Gamorrean. Sorry. Is that one Welch?
Yeah, that's Melch. That's Hondo.
Okay.
Come on.
It's not Deveronian either. So probably Ugnaught?
Yep, it's Ugnaught. The Ghost Crew broke Hondo out of an Imperial prison located on what planet? Naraka, Coruscant, Scarif, or Vandor?
It's probably one on Scarif.
See, now... I don't think they've gone to Scarif and Rebels. And they definitely haven't gone to Coruscant.
No, that seems like a bad plan if you're a pirate.
Well, Rebels is during the Imperial... also the Ghost Crew would be our main Rebels, so... Going to Coruscant would be a bad idea as Rebels, because that's the capital of the Empire.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds like a terrible idea.
So I'm thinking either Naraka or Vandor. I'm going to go Vandor. Let's see. Number 8. It was Naraka. How did Hondo acquire his ship, the Broken Horn? A. Won it in a sabacc game. B. Stunned and detained its owner. C. Salvaged it from a shipyard. Or D. Purchased it from the Empire.
I'm gonna go with C.
I'm gonna go with B because the Broken Horn is originally Vizago's ship. And I think in that episode, Vizago is still in the ship. Yep.
He just took it.
He just took it. Because Vizago is the Broken Horn Syndicate, remember?
Shit.
Yeah. So let's see. So far, you've missed, what, 3?
Yeah, but most of them have been Rebel stuff.
Because you missed the Florum question. I'm just keeping track of the score because there is a score at the end. You missed the Jedi Crew, the Kyber Crystal question. So I think you've actually missed 4. I've missed 2. 3, 4. No, you've missed 5. I missed 2. Okay. Keeping track because I think at the end we can add up the score. So I'm going to write it down just so. There we go. Keeping track of the score. All right. And that's just how many we missed. All right, number 10. Who did Hondo help the Ghost Crew rescue from the planet Nixus? Smugglers from Ord Mantell, farmers from Lothal, bounty hunters from Tatooine, or refugees from Lasan?
I'm gonna take a wild guess that it's not bounty hunters from Tatooine if you are a criminal group. So not them. And I do know that they go to Lothal, but I don't know why they would have to rescue the farmers there. So what were the other 2 options?
Smugglers from Ord Mantell or refugees from Lasan?
Probably smugglers from Ord Mantell.
I'm going to go with the refugees because I think I remember that episode because that's where the Lasat, they find the Lasat homeworld together, I think. So number 10, you said A, I said D.
Yeah.
It is D.
Well, a bunch of this has been Rebel stuff.
Yeah, we're now in the Rebel stuff, which you have not.
I'm at a disadvantage here.
All right, we're done with Rebel stuff. Now we're both going to be at disadvantage here because at the Galaxy's Edge.
Ah. Great.
Although I've read some stuff and I kind of know some of this, so I think I can get some of this.
Okay.
What company did Hondo establish on Batu? A. Onaka Mining Consortium.
Mm-mm.
B. Onaka Transport Solutions. C. Onaka Trade Market. Or D. Onaka Cargo Security.
I'm gonna go with D.
I'm going with B. It is B. He created a transport solutions.
It's something.
Yeah, it's
S or
Onaka
S.
something. Yeah, in this case, it's OTS.
I think it fucking says that earlier in the magazine.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it talks about that in the criminal underworld article.
I should. God, I'm gonna stop overthinking these questions.
All right, which Jedi did Hondo name his light freighter after? This one I don't know. Kenobi, Katuni, Skywalker, or Tano. Oh, I think I know the answer now.
I'm just gonna go with D.
You're going with Tano? I'm going with Katuni, and my reasoning is that that's the Jedi youngling that he meets during when he tried to steal the Kyber crystals, and I think he developed a respect for her because he respects most of his enemies.
Yeah.
And which one's that? So you said D, I said B.
I'm just gonna go.
It is Katuni. I just made a guess because I was like, oh yeah, Katuni was that Jedi youngling in Clone Wars.
Bits and pieces, man.
Yeah, you just gotta add stuff together, yeah. After which battle did Hondo make a deal with Chewbacca to use the Millennium Falcon? The Battle of Starkiller Base, the Battle of Dakar, the Battle of Crate, the Battle of Exegol.
Fucking Exegol, I guess. I don't know, man.
So I don't think it's Exegol because if I remember correctly, Galaxy's Edge takes place before Episode 9. I want to say the Battle of Starkiller Base because technically the Battle of Dakar isn't a battle. That's the whole Last Jedi storyline.
Nice.
And then the Battle of Crate is the last battle of Last Jedi. So I'm going to say A. I might be wrong here. I am. It was the Battle of Crate. So it's after Last Jedi. That makes sense because the Force Awakens, or the Last Jedi takes place immediately after the Force Awakens. Hondo would not have had time to ask to borrow the Millennium Falcon in between that. So we are both wrong.
I get the sense I'm not getting a passing grade on this quiz.
All right. Where did Hondo use the Millennium Falcon to rob a First Order train? Corellia, Kijimi, Membom, or Iadu? Not Iriadu, Iadu. Just to clarify, because we know not to mess with Iriaduans.
Mm-hmm.
So Corellia, Kijimi, Membon, or Iadu. This one I absolutely don't know, because I feel like that's one where you'd have to do the Millennium Falcon ride to know that.
Mimbon seems nice and robbable.
Membon, just for reference, that's that place where Han and Chewie met. Back when Han was part of the Imperial Army.
Okay, maybe not as robbable as I remember.
Yeah, that's that dirt. That's that mud planet.
But afterwards, though, it's probably...
I think Membon might actually be a good guess. But
after everything.
But so that way, if you're right, you get the point, and if I don't, or other way around, I'm gonna go Kijimi, just to make things interesting, because I'm not gonna steal your answer, since I don't know for sure on it. Like if I knew for sure, then I would totally take your answer, but I don't know. Oh, we're both wrong. It is Corellia. That was my other guess. That actually kind of makes sense.
Are we sure we want to go robbing Corellians? This doesn't seem like a very smart idea.
Well, he's robbing the First Order.
Yeah, nah.
All right. I think this is the last. Let me double check. Okay, we're almost at the last one. There's this, and then there's a identify that quote section. Okay. Number 15. Who received intelligence from the White Worms regarding Hondo's presence on Batuu? Balatik, Bazine Natal, Fennec Shand, or Tasu Leech?
I don't know.
It's either Balatik or Tasu Leech.
I'm gonna go with Leech.
Actually, no. It's Bazine.
Hmm.
Because Bazine is the bounty hunter that appears in The Force Awakens, and she's the one that turns in Han and Chewie to the First Order that they're on Takodana.
Hmm.
And she's searching for the Falcon. And you said which one?
Leech.
Leech. So B or D? It is B. It is Bazine. That one wasn't fair to you, though, because I knew that one because of books and comics. All right. So now we got identify that quote. So we're going to get a quote, and then we've got 4 options of people that... Hold on. 5. Hold on. Double check here. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So we got 5 quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to identify who said them to Hondo.
Okay.
They could be friend or foe.
All right.
So the first quote, I should assume you are walking us into a trap.
That's vague, but probably a Jedi.
But do we have a specific Jedi?
I'm going to assume Kenobi.
I'm going to
Since
take...
he's a smart ass.
It is actually Plo Koon. I did not know that either, so I am taking the loss as well. There we go. So, provide me with the proper means of communications. I will arrange for any ransom to be paid.
I don't know.
I know this one. This is Dooku.
Hmm.
Yep. Because that's when he's captured. He's like, "Hey, I'll just reach out to my associates in the Confederacy, and they'll pay for the ransom." And Hondo's like, "No, they'll send their droid army if I do that." All right. You can dispense with the pleasantries, pirate. This planet is now under Separatist control.
Well,
I have a belief of who it is, but I don't know.
that sounds like some Grievous shit.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking. It is indeed Grievous.
I can hear his raspy ass voice from here.
You can dispense with the pleasantries, pirate. I can't do it.
You can just fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna try. I'll just.
Also,
stop.
we don't have like the.
Yeah.
We need like a toilet paper roll to kind of get that voice echo. Let's see. 4. We have no quarrel with you, and we seek no revenge.
That is, fucking definitely Kenobi.
Yeah, that's Kenobi. You are correct.
'Cause
Oh wait, why am I? We were both correct. Why am I erasing? Why am I adding a failure? All right, last.
add a failure for my success. Maybe I'll make the score even.
All right, last one of the identify a quote, and then there's one more section where we have to identify people that Hondo knows via pictures.
Okay.
Number 5. 3 of your lieutenants have already sworn allegiance to me. Oh, I know who that is. You should know because we've discussed this event numerous times now today.
Is it Savage Opress? Or it's either them or Maul or somebody.
You got to pick.
Probably Savage.
It is Maul.
Shit.
Yeah.
I think Savage.
You got to remember, Savage is
not the one.
You got to remember, Savage is not the talker of the group.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the last section, identifying people based on a segment of their picture.
Okay.
So let me make sure it's There we go. So, who is that? And let me show the. Let me give a chance to show them as well. Before you guess, let me show them. I think it's this one to get the camera. That face. Trying to get less glare. There we go.
I'd say that looks like Django, but Django's dead at the time. But can't be Boba because he'd be too young. That's not what his helmet looks like. Maybe one of the fuck, what's her name?
I just double checked my answer. I'm correct. But I'm waiting to hear yours.
What's her name? The one the armorer's like, hey, the stupid fucking sword was
Right.
hers, and she really fucked us.
Oh, you're talking about Bo-Katan?
Yes, that.
It is
her.
not. It is not
It's not-
Bo-Katan. It is
No.
Django. You're
No, I was like,
because
Is it
remember
far-fetched?
Django. Well, it's not far fetched that Django would have known him at some point.
is it flashback stuff?
It's not. It's shown in Clone Wars, but it's
Because
not.
he would be
it-
dead at the time.
yeah,
of Clone
but
Wars.
it's not. It's not. It's not far fetched to believe it.
Ah.
That one is a trick question. That one is a bit tricky. All right, you don't watch Rebels, but that one's gonna be a Rebels character.
Oh, I don't fucking know. His second-hand guy from earlier?
No,
No.
it's As Morgan.
Okay, well, I don't know who the hell that is.
He's a rival.
Hmm.
He's a rival that was originally making a deal with him, but then like Hondo being Hondo, double crossed a little bit, but like unfriendly double cross because it's Hondo. Number 3.
Hi.
She
She's
appears.
A bounty hunter.
Yeah, she's a bounty hunter. She appears in
I
Clone
don't
Wars.
know her name.
Should I put that? Should I just go ahead and take away that point?
Sure, go ahead.
It's Aura Singh. That's her name. And then from Rebels, we've talked about him today.
We've talked about a lot of people today. Do you know how little that narrows it down?
I'm trying to avoid giving too much of a spoiler. He runs a syndicate. A smaller one.
Hornman.
You are on the right track. What's his name,
Black
though?
Horn.
What's his name?
I'll
I'll give it to you if you can name his syndicate. Hint, he named his ship the same thing. And Hondo stole his ship. We literally just had that question.
I don't fucking remember. Okay.
Oh my god.
No, I don't know. I give up.
Vizago
Vizago.
of the Broken Horn Syndicate.
Oh, it's. God, this is gonna.
Okay.
Black Horn, I said, filled with confidence. Horn man.
So let's see. There were 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22. There were 24 questions.
Yeah, I'm not getting a passing grade on that one.
Yeah, because you missed 18.
Yeah, well, half of them are from something I didn't know.
So let's see. Count. You got 6. According to this. Okay. And I got 19. So I missed. I just barely missed getting a complete, like getting an A, but I got it like a B.
Yeah.
You didn't get a complete failure, but no, it's a failure. Because you hit the 0 to 9. Were you able to keep track of Hondo Anaka's scams and schemes? At this rate, our venture will not be a profitable one. I like that.
Yeah,
It's quoting
yeah.
Hondo.
No shit.
And then, as for me, not bad. Someday you might make an excellent pirate. All right, so that was our Insider special.
Yeah.
And we're going to have another one next week, which means another quiz.
Oh, no.
There's actually 2 quizzes because we have to do 2 Insiders because There are two. We don't have to actually read the articles though on that one because it's an old. They're old issues at this point. I mean, if we want to talk about the articles, we can. But yeah, so that's the end of this episode. Next time we will be discussing we will be doing the short story Starlight.
Where they're all the Jedi are on roller skates.
Yes, Jedi on roller skates, Starlight Express. Go Together, part 1 and 2,
Okay.
which will bring back our favorite couple, the Adrians. Our favorite non-force sensitive couple,
God.
who Geode tried to break up because Geode is one very smooth rock.
You know what's a smoother rock? The fucking Audrey's relationship.
Well, also it helps that they were told that Geode didn't mean anything by
Yeah.
it. Although Geode is apparently a big flirt.
Apparently. I don't know how he managed
Apparently, yeah. I don't judge him just because he looks like a slab of marble. All right. So, I guess we will see you guys next week
Yeah.
with Starlight. Go Together. Anything you want to promote before we...
Me personally?
Yeah, you
No.
personally, anything?
Uh,
I want to go ahead and promote my books, which, if you're on YouTube, all the links are there. You got Super Worlds, you got the Coat Wars, and you got Time Ninja. Super Worlds and Coat Wars all take place in the same exact universe. They're sci-fi, superhero with a little bit of war story. And then Time Ninja is historical fiction?
yeah.
With
It would definitely fit into that role.
I just wouldn't. I don't know if it counts as historical fiction because it doesn't.
leans heavily on the fiction part.
Yeah, I just don't know if it would count as historical fiction while it takes place in a historical period. I'm not focusing
Actually,
on an
no.
historical figure.
Actually, no, then they would just be fiction.
Alternate history, alternate timeline.
Alternate history.
But it's time travel with ninjas. Yeah, and samurai. Feudal Japan is so. If you like that type of time period and a little bit of time travel and a little bit of fantasy, because Highlander is a big inspiration for that book. A lot of the rules to time travel kind of stolen a little bit. Other than that, be sure to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, hit that subscribe or follow button. And if you really want to show us some support, we also have the Patreon link where the first tier gets you access to our Discord. You can come chat with us. We'll talk about whatever Star Wars, as you've seen from today's episode, literally anything.
Yeah.
And then the second tier gets you access to our YouTube content a week before it's uploaded to YouTube. And also, if you just want, cheaper versions of my book, you could also support me on Patreon, and we will mail you copies of the book. We'll give you all 3 books if you get the right tier. I think it's the 25. I think it's the $20 or $25 tier, and that gets you access. That will get you access to all 3 books. Right now, it just says Super Worlds, but I'm gonna update that to give you all 3.
Time Ninja, Super Worlds, and
And
the
Coat Wars. Yep. Which Coat Wars is a bunch of short stories in the Super Worlds universe. Super Worlds is your main book, and then if you want to learn a little bit more about the universe, the Coat Wars is perfect for that. And also, I want to thank G&G and Mobcast Network for providing the space. Gamers and Geeks, thank you.
Yeah.
Gamers and Geeks, if you're in the Mobile, Alabama area, is a wonderful nerd shop. If you want your comics, because they got comics, they've got your trading cards, so Pokemon, Magic. Yeah, and currently there's a convention. If I remembered last week, I would have advertised. There's one in the summer. Yeah, I'll have to look at the schedule and I'll make sure to advertise it on here before. But yeah, we do conventions. They try to do one at least every every quarterly. Try to hit all the seasons.
I'll be honest, that surprised me today. I
Yeah.
didn't know there was going to be
Yeah,
one
I
today.
knew it was coming up, but I forgot when.
You didn't
Until,
tell me.
yeah.
You told me as we were pulling into the parking lot. Like, oh, we have a convention today. I was like, great.
Yeah. And so there will be the summer one, and then usually there's the Halloween one. But yeah. And also, if you really like arcade games, they've got an arcade in the back. $10 for the day. Free play on all the machines, except for a couple that are coin-based, but they put up signs to tell you don't use those. Because you're paying for the day, so why would you spend your quarters on those? And they are working, though, on trying to get all the machines to be free play. And then there's also the Engage Gaming, which is like inside the same building, but it's its own shop. And that lets you pay a monthly, I think, to play on their PlayStations or Xbox or computer. Say you got a game you want to play that you say you want to play that new Elden Ring, like I have been, and you don't have the computer capacity to run that thing, although Elden Ring is broken anyways. But say you want to have some really good, computer power, you can do that at Engage. They'll let you do that. Or say you want to play a VR game, which might be how I end up playing. It might be how I play the Tales from Galaxy's Edge games, because I want to play those. They've got a VR machine headset here as well. And then, of course, with Mopcast Network, they have a ton of podcasts that are great. I'm usually a part of them. Yeah, I am a part of them. Well, sometimes I'm going to need a break. I haven't called for one yet, but... Yeah. I need an apprentice because I know... Yeah, I need a youngling because I know that I want to go... I'm not going to go to Celebration itself, but a lot of my friends are. A lot of you guys watching are going, and I know that there's been discussion about just going to Disneyland as well. So I might go to Anaheim just to do that and hang out with you guys. Yeah, but I mean, Disneyland would be fun too, because then I could go to Galaxy's Edge for the first time. Because I've yet to do Galaxy's Edge. I might build a droid, because I was pricing everything out, and the droid is cheaper than a lightsaber. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, it's 8 hours away. Yeah. Yeah, I saw a really good Airbnb at Anaheim. That's why I was kind of thinking about it. Saw one for like 25, single room. 25 a night. That's not bad. But yeah, I also know people out there though, so like maybe I could ask and be like, "Hey, can I crash? Do you have a couch?" Because I know the first day of Celebration is somebody's birthday. So, and they were like, we should go to, because I mentioned it, and they were like, well, we could go to Disney on my birthday. And I was like, well, when is that? And they were like, the first day of Celebration. I was like, oh, perfect. But yeah, but Mobcast.
Yep.
They've got My Star Wars Life, which there was a mess up on the audio on the last episode, but we're going to try again and discuss Kenobi. And then we have the new season of Cult Movie Cantina, which has started. And we had the first episode was Xanadu. Yeah, 2.5 hour podcast episode. It was a good episode though. It was a fun episode. We had a fun guest, and I'll leave that as a surprise for you guys to find out by watching. And you can watch on youtube.com/Mopcast Network. But if you are more of a listener, you can find them on basically anywhere you can find a podcast, Apple, Spotify. Those are the big two I can think of. Yeah, Google. Yeah, iHeartRadio. Anywhere you can find podcasts. Make sure to show them some love and support, because that's how we get this nice studio. Anything else I'm missing? I think I hit all the major points.
Got all of them today.
Yeah. You gonna say hi to Johnny this week or no?
Nope. I'm not. I'm ignoring him. He's not getting me. If I don't look at him, he's not there.
Except he is. Look at we got the shot right there.
Don't confirm his existence for object permanence to me. I know he's there,
Yeah.
but if I don't look at him, he's not there.
So I think that's a great way to end the show. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Oh, sorry. Say it again. I muted you.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, there we go. Bye.